Since it's been a few months since Facebook started integrating with all these music services, and it seems like there's been all kinds of action. I mean, if you look at your Facebook feed these days, it's a lot different than before this happened, and it seems like a pretty powerful way for people to get introduced into these services. How big a deal is this? Any numbers you can share or trends?
I can kick it off. So yeah, I mean, at our F8 conference last year, which is our developers conference, we launched with about 12 different music services and publishing into the Open Graph. They spanned, I think, 8 different countries. And since then, I mean, it's been a couple months now. We are now up to over 20 music services that span over 50 different countries. I think about 5 billion songs publicly we've said have been shared via Facebook so far, and we're excited about the traction and the way things are going right now.
Nice. What about the services?
Yeah, so we were one of the launch partners back in September at F8. I think we've probably brought on close to 1 million people now in the, say, 800,000 to 1 million range from brand new people from Facebook to MOG who have entered into the free version of our service. And I think we average probably about 5,000 to 6,000 new people every day now coming in from Facebook.
And Rachna, we were talking a little bit about, SiriusXM's not a pure play internet broadcaster, obviously, by definition, so the implications of social music are slightly different. But I was wondering if you could talk about what that approach might look like, whatever you can tell us.
Sure. So, we have 22 million subscribers in the US, and we've acquired the majority of those through our partnerships with the auto industry. I think it's important to note for us, we're not a music service, we're really a radio service. So a lot of our content is talk, sports, news. We spend a lot of money with Howard and MLB and sports rights and other content that's exclusive and premium for our subscribers. So also we have a lot of programming talent. So all our channels, we have about 140 channels, are curated. So it's kind of a linear listening experience right now. We're working through how we may evolve that. So, with 22 million subscribers, we're going to make sure we're quite thoughtful about what that the deeper Facebook integration is. Obviously, we have our channel pages and a lot of fans on all those channel pages, and we're doing some innovative things there. But in terms of a deeper, persistent experience, we're still kind of working through what the right thing is for our subscribers.
The thing that happens when you're doing journalism these days is every once in a while you get a story that blows up. And it goes everywhere, and you get all these new people, all these new unique visitors coming to your site, which is great. But we had this term for them, which was tourists. They're not moving to your town. They're like, sweet, that story was awesome. Like, see you later. So I feel like that sort of is now probably happening with music services a bit. I was wondering, what are the techniques for turning those tourists into residents? Are there any tricks of the trade? I know it's been a few months since this became like a mainstream thing, but what have you guys learned so far?
I've had definitely very direct experiences with having a lot of traffic come in one fell swoop from a lot of coverage when we initially launched, and that actually registers as this massive spike in traffic. And the best thing you can do is that's your time to say, this is why you should hang out here. There's just a percentage that want to see what's going on. There's a percentage that they're happy with whatever services they use. And then there's a percentage that are like, I'll give it a shot. And you have a few seconds to wow them. If your page takes a little too long to load, they'll say, whatever, forget it, and they close the tab, and then that's it. And so no matter what you do, you're only going to keep a certain percentage and a small percentage, 10%, 20%, whatever it might be, of all that traffic that comes to you. And the best thing you can do is just put your best foot forward, make sure everything's working properly, and give them that product experience that's just amazing. And they're like, this is what I want to do.
I'd say, SiriusXM, we're, again, a little bit different. We don't have a freemium model. Our trials are really around time-based, so we're installed in about mid-60 percentile of all cars, US light vehicles, so consumer cars in the US, and through our deep relationships, and most of those folks get a 90-day free trial, And I mean, I think what was impressive for me, even when I joined, was that the conversion rate from, trial, a 90-day trial, which is all the bells and whistles, versus a tier of trial, is around between 44 and 46%. So nearly half of the people that try it. And again, I think it's the music component, sure, but it's also the talk, sports, news, exclusive, it's curated, it's really easy to use in the car. You can turn it on and, set 5 presets and you're away and running. I think that's been really, really successful for us. So because we have a whole bucket of content that's exclusive and premium for us, we'd rather focus on a time-based trial and let everybody try all the bells and whistles, as opposed to a kind of persistent free tier and have the struggle of moving people from free to paid. Our struggle is, we were lucky enough to have 22 million subscribers. We want to do everything we can to keep them happy and offer them new features and services, including, evolving our IP offering, which we're doing.
We're doing a lot of things. I mean, one thing we do to really improve the cold start functionality for that first-time visitor, we, through the Facebook API, are grabbing your artist likes. So when you come to Mog for the first time from Facebook, we could really personalize the experience based on the artists that we know you've already liked on Facebook. And we leverage those artists as seeds to generate a whole list of personalized music for you. It blows people's minds when they come to Mog for the first time, and there's a section called Just For You, and they're like, how did they know I'm into all this music? We're grabbing the artist likes. We have our own proprietary algorithms. We're expanding beyond that to find similar artists based on those artist seeds that you liked on Facebook. So things like that.
How do you deal with, if somebody posts a track on, say, Turntable and somebody else wants to hear it on Mog, what are the complexities, or is that something that people want, or is that just like something that I think about and doesn't apply? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, no, even when we launched the platform, that was one of the kind of the conflicts that we had, right? Optimizing the experience for the developers out there, the Turntables and the Mogs, who want that, 1 million new folks coming over to their ecosystem and participating in what they're doing, versus also optimizing for the user experience, which is you, right? On your end, you see a whole bunch of your friends listening on XYZ service, but you listen on ABC service. Can you switch over and make that happen? So we actually, right now, if you were to click on a play button into Facebook, if you saw Dave is listening to the Black Keys on Mog, you actually have the opportunity to go and switch over to XYZ service if you've already authenticated and used that service, right? So us, Facebook, we're trying to be smart about that, right? We understand that you have a favorite service that you have already authenticated via Facebook, so we're presenting you with that opportunity to switch over and listen to it in your service, if we've been smart enough about the matching.
Right, that can be the tough part.
Right.